Hi, welcome to another edition of Metal and Motors. My name is Adam, and about a year ago I posted on my Facebook page that if anybody had any questions related to the marine and small engine industries, that they should send them in. And one of the responses that I got here was a question involving opening your own shop and being self-employed. And the question that I asked was, do I enjoy working for myself, and what do I recommend for anybody looking to open their own repair shop? And I have a bit of a mixed answer to that. Both good points and not so good points, obviously being based off of experience. And I'd like to start off with some of the disadvantages and some of the bigger challenges to running your own business. Like, for example, right now it's tax time, and I am choosing to do my own taxes, for one, to save money. Second, I'm an independent person in a lot of ways, and I like to just do it myself so I know it's done right. Although it is labor intensive, and that's something that a lot of people don't really factor in when they think about opening their own shop. I think the popular belief with being your own boss is, you get to set your own schedule, you can take time off whenever you want. It's very convenient, nobody telling you what to do. And there is some truth to that, but there are also some things that you maybe don't know. Basically that you do not work a 9-to-5 schedule. Like, for example, you can have your own shop and you can charge, say, $50 an hour for labor. Multiply that times 8, that's $400 a day. And that's the popular theory, but the reality is that you have downtime between one project and the next. You have restroom breaks, you have lunch breaks, you have to answer your own phone, you have to order parts. There are a lot of things that are in between those $50 an hour jobs that can really break it down to a smaller dollar amount. But you can do really well if you are an efficient technician with your time and your resources. You just have to understand that it does take more time than you expect to make a business run smoothly. And I do highly recommend, and this is from experience, I do recommend going to school and taking classes on business management. And that is something that I chose not to do. It was suggested to me, but I just chose to get my certification and open a shop and go to work. And if I could go back and change things, I would. I would take that advice and I would take business management classes, and I wouldn't have learned a lot of things the hard way just by doing them. And another good way to learn is to go and work for somebody else, preferably a good reputable dealership, because they're well established and they have their own system that they use that makes things run very smoothly and efficiently. And this really is a very good way to learn a lot, because you can learn a lot in a classroom setting and you can have great educators, but ultimately the best experience is going to be hands-on. And you'll likely be working with people who are very well experienced and they're well trained. They know the ins and outs. They're familiar with good machines, bad machines, tricks and tips, all that kind of stuff. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Somebody else has already done it for you. So you can have people who you work with there, and they can mentor you, and they can help you be a very efficient technician. You can be really successful in what you do. And really, the more connections you have in this business, the better off you'll be. Whether you choose to work for somebody else your whole life or you decide to eventually open up your own shop, the more connections, the better. But again, as I was saying, I didn't work for a dealership. I didn't go that route and learn the tricks of the trade and get mentored by people. I didn't take business management classes. I just opened my own shop and kind of just punched in the dark at nothing. And I don't recommend that. I recommend learning from other people before you go out and venture out on your own. But owning your own business does have its benefits for sure. There's no doubt there. I've been doing this for many, many years, and I still choose to do it because I enjoy it. It's been fruitful, even though I haven't made the best choices earlier on. It's still been a very great venture. I mean, yes, you do get to be your own boss. Yes, you do get to make a lot of your own decisions, but there are a lot of responsibilities that come with that. And one of those, obviously, is you want to make sure you do good work. This is doing correct diagnosis, correct repairs, using the correct tools, charging a correct amount, or a fair amount, I guess more specific, and keeping a good record of what you take in versus what you dish out, because you do need to have a good record for when it comes to doing your taxes. And another thing you should be aware of if you choose to go into business for yourself is the issue of benefits. I am referring to dealerships. Good reputable dealerships will offer benefits like 401ks, dental, health, all that kind of stuff. Vacation time is another one. All these things you don't really necessarily get working on your own unless you set them up yourself. And something specific with retirement accounts, your employer typically will contribute to that in addition to what you put in yourself. And that's something else you won't get if you're self-employed. So yes, there are a number of things that you maybe didn't think of that you should consider if you're considering opening your own business. Because as I said before, there is a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun. It's really what is the most important to you, what works best for you. If you feel that running a business is something that you think you can handle, I would recommend, if you haven't already, take some classes on how to run a business. And also, as I was saying, I would definitely recommend working for a dealership, getting mentored by other people who have done this for a while, watch how they run their business. You can see what works and what doesn't, and maybe someday down the road you can apply that to your own business. And that's really what I'm trying to do here with this podcast, is I'm trying to educate the next generation of technicians, because I've been there. I've been doing this for a long time. I've learned what works. I've learned what doesn't. I've learned what other people do that works that does not work for me, and vice versa. And realistically, the learning will never, ever stop. You can be doing this for 40 years and you will still learn new things all the time. And that's part of why I'm here, and why I'm here to do my part and make sure this industry continues and that it thrives.